noon now, right? We have with us Professor G. Hemantha Kumar, who was the 25th Vice Chancellor of University of Mysore with us here. Professor G. Hemantha Kumar did his Master's PhD in the University of Mysore, joined the University of Mysore, brought in the engineering department, especially the computer science engineering department in it. He was the head of it. He was the chairman of the NEP, National Education Policy Committee, for the science part of it, right? And he has been instrumental in so many transformative changes in the University of Mysore. So Professor Hemantha Kumar is going to share with us something very interesting. He is going to talk to us about Vivekananda in our education system. What was clouded, what's opening up now, and more so the NEP opportunities. Professor Hemantha Kumar, please come.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ and very good afternoon to you all. So today we are here to discuss few topics, how Swami Vivekananda thought about our India. Once we say Vivekananda, his name itself is inspiring. Because we were all students in 1970s, 80s, as our Anant has really told, once I touched that Vivekananda rock, it is somewhat inspiring. Once we speak about it, we need thrilled. Once we learn about Swami Vivekananda, we are thrilled. And why? Because he was knowing how the country is going to grow and what should we give to our people. So because I was also devotee of Ramakrishna Math, and also I am also devotee of Amritanandamayi Amma. So with this background, I wanted to speak something about the Vivekananda views on education. So always Swamiji used to say, education is the manifestation of perfection which is already in man. It is one of the definitions given by Swami Vivekananda. Education should be liberal and always in the national lines. So he says that education is to provide the order or generate the people to serve the masses. That is what we saw in our previous talk. To serve the masses and uplift the society. Uplift the society. It was necessary to spread both secular and also spiritual education. This is very, very important. Along with our education, where we are going to get for our food, for our shelter, for our life, along with that, we need to have spiritualize. We need to have spirituality. So education is the power. Another definition what he gives is education is the power to comprehend the problems in the life. Education is not mere degree. Education is not mere marks card. Education is not mere degree certificate. It is not just what we call taking the life, and also it is not just what we call working for taking a job. It is something more than that, where we need to learn to face or comprehend any problems when we come across. I think most of you have done your B.Ed and other things, what we speak. Once upon a time, our B.Ed courses was very good, though it was 9 months course. So I did B.Sc, M.Sc, all courses. I like B.Ed today, even today, because in 9 months we could be able to do lot of things. Now that B.Ed has been 2 years, I don't know what is the situation. And really we are not creating the good teachers. As a Vice Chancellor, I am telling. Because so many B.Ed colleges are full some colleges, 100%. Some colleges are only 30, 40. So then I asked, what is this? Sir, we make attendance compulsory here. That is why we will get only 30, 40 students. Where there are no attendance, he will be somewhere, attendance will be given. So that is where we are. So I'm very sorry affair. The teacher should not be created like that. So coming back to our this thing. So Swami Vivekananda says, education should remove the ignorance, develop the self-knowledge. Who am I? Where I have come? And develop the complete personality. Complete personality. And also bring about the changes in the society. Education should bring something in the changes in the society. It gives the progressive ideas, should give some progressive ideas to the society, and it should give new life. So, with these different views of Swami Vivekananda, how it has been adopted in our education, how our national education policy has been made, and where we can put these things in our national education policy, that I wish to tell. So, we just think, when the population, when we got the independence, is around 38 crores to 40 crores in India. Today, the population in 2023 is 142 crores and odd. So imagine, in span of 75 years, we have grown by 100 crores in population. Space is so much, same space. Population is almost increased. In another, what we call 2035, we will be reaching 166 crores. That is what the projection is. So for all these people, what we should give? So you can think of, before the independence, how it was, education was. Before independence, when our Sanatana Dharma was there, education is through Gurukula. That was the practical education, where whether a king or anybody, he used to go with Guru. He used to learn everything, not only the scriptures. Apart from the scriptures, he used to work, he used to learn all the vidyas. That is what you have learned. So then that education was there when British invaded us. We went to education where British has given. That was there for 200 years. We followed it. It created the doctors, it created the clerks, it created the engineers, everyone, no doubt. The way that we used to teach, the way that we used to learn was different. I think most of you are not, after 80s or 90s, you have joined the college. Okay? So we studied in 70s, 80s. In the BSc final years, BSc, a course if a student takes, he used to take all the 3 years examination in final year. BSc Physics major means first year just teaching, second year teaching, third year he used to take all the 10 papers. That was the scheme. Means we had the education which was on the memory, we had to write it. Not annual scheme, not yearly one examination. All the 3 years what we have studied, that we used to write it in the one examination. I was not part of it. Next, we came yearly one examination. BSc in 1980s. So that was the scheme. Why? Because then total Indian, our government, India government, used to see how to make our education better and best. Then first Radhakrishnan Commission was there after the independence in 1948 to 49. Then Kothari Commission, it gave a lot of recommendations for higher education. It was 64 to 66. Then some Mudaliar Commission, it was there. That recommendation was also adopted. The National Education Policy in 1986, where we just changed some of the things. Annual scheme was converted into semester scheme. And some of the things we saw, and that was put onto the, what we call, public. So most of the things we little bit changed, but we did not go up. It cannot be a comparable education with other countries. So then we had in 1986 onwards, there was no what we call education policy reviewed. There was a knowledge commission was created in between. Knowledge commission recommended to make the review of the whole education system. Now we have National Education Policy 2020. So for this, once it was introduced in 1918, it came for the public to comment. And there was a committee headed by Professor Kasturi Rangan, Dr. Kasturi Rangan, with 14 members. Out of that, 3 members were from Karnataka. So we had a major share to give what we call something to the national education policy. So with this, a lot of exercises has been done for 2-3 years. They have collected a lot of data. The thing is, why we have to revise our education system? So if I go to America for 3 years BSc, they will ask you to do one more course there, then only you can go for MS, right? That is one, internationalization. Always Vivekananda used to say that national level education. So on those days, we were not able to flow freely. Now, what we call it is possible. Then, what was the other thing? Always Swami Vivekananda used to say, a person who got the education, he must be able to stand on his own legs. Means he should be able to capable of work, or he should be able to capable of an entrepreneur. Education should make him not only just what we call a bookish knowledge. Apart from that, he should get the capability of living himself and also putting something to the society, or he should be able to give some jobs to the people, creating his own entrepreneurship. So all these things were thought, and also different meetings and different things have been made. And then finally, national education policy came on. What was the need of it? Because current education, from semester, that is credit-based, what we call choice-based system. So now there is liberty. Vivekananda also says that education should have the liberation. Why liberation means he should be able to take anything, whatever he wants to read. So that's where they made the education as the cross-disciplinary and also interdisciplinary. Means a student who is studying in computer science, he can take one subject as journalism. A student who is working in journalism, he must have the knowledge of computer science. He can take one paper in this thing. Similarly, a student of physics can learn something in engineering. He can take one course in engineering. Similarly, student who is very good, who want to what we call learn music in physics, chemistry, he can take one course in music. Means there must be flexibility in the education. So national education policy has given the flexibility. At the same time, he says the student should have creativity. These are all the philosophy of Vivekananda only. The student should be somewhat creative. He should be able to think some new thing, some new innovations. So nowadays, you know what we call startups, innovations, all those things are there, but there are a lot of possibilities where a student can learn and do the things, where it was not there when we were studying. Now all these things have been put on. A student can take in one college, if he is studying, suppose he want to take few credits in some other college, he can go to that college and take the credit. So totally in a semester, 24 credits he has to earn. So 18 credits he can take in his college, another 6 credits he can take in some other college, where that course is not available in your college. So all the flexibility means national education policy has got the flexibility, has got what we call interdisciplinary and intradisciplinary approaches. As science students can take 1 or 2 arts courses. Art students can take some engineering courses, some courses which can be related to this. At the same time, main point is, here we have made a student can have exit and also multiple entry and multiple exit. Suppose after first year, student don't want to continue the education, he can leave. We will give what we call a certificate course. For that, the designing of the syllabus was very challenging. Suppose a computer science student joined, just because it is my subject I am going to tell. So computer science student joins. After first year, if he leaves means, you have to create the syllabus such a way that first year after completing, he must be able to operate a computer. He can get a job of a computer operator. So like that we have to design the syllabus. Second year, when he completes, he must be able to write a program. He must be able to write what we call a good program. Or he must be able to use some good software packages. Third year when he completes, he must be able to become a good software engineer. So like that, we have to plan, because it was the what we call thing. Because just after first year go and again come back, it is not like that. Suppose need is there. Suppose you want to leave. This was the system. Even today it is there in other countries. A student leaves at the age of 18, he comes back after 25. He says that I want to continue, the college will allow him to continue. Okay, this was the thing. And also, the more language is there, in that language what he says, it should be somewhat communicative. Good communication skills you have to make it, apart from what we call good skill. So language itself you are studying as some of the optionals. There you put everything. For science students, other students, you make the languages like this. So I'm just telling the policies of this education. After that, I'll come back how we, what we call, experienced a different way when we are implemented. Because I was the chairman for implementing the science courses in Karnataka. So this is the way where the 3 years course, they made optional 4 years. It is not compulsion. It is what? Optional. First year, he may take one course. Same subject continues for second year. So like that, instead of 3 optionals, we made it 2 optionals. So in the third optional, second year, after 3 years he completes, there are hardcore courses, softcore courses, and also what we call open electives. Open electives, you can choose it in any other departments. Okay? Softcore courses of the same subject. Hardcore courses of the real, what we call computer science means computer science, electronics means electronics. This was the way that we, what we call, designed the syllabus. Hardcore, softcore, elective, open elective, like that. In all these courses, we have to see that students should be somewhat creative. You must increase his creativity by your education. He must think independently on his own. Give the small projects where student can independent, instead of making theory, and instead of theory, just ask them a group and do one project. So this was the philosophy of the NEP. And after fourth year is a very tough course where most of our teachers and students are misunderstood. Everyone can go to fourth year. No. If CGPA is more than 8.5 or 9, you can fix up something. Then only you can go for fourth year. In the fourth year, subject will be so that he must be able to do PhD without masters. He must be able to do PhD without masters. Such a cream should go for a fourth year. So here most of the people misunderstood the things. Everyone need not go to fourth year. Third year you are going to degree. Fourth year you are going to give honors degree. Honors degree who takes, that he will go for the masters with 1 year. So this is the policy. This policy, why we made it? With lot of thinking. Currently, if I take up any universities, totally India has got 1,200 universities. Out of that, private university major share is more now. So no university is coming within 100 rank in the world ranking. That's why our Prime Minister thought that we must create the institutions such a way that within 100, at least 10 universities should come in India. So this was the policy was made to make at least few universities should be seen by other countries. This is one of the best university, I should come here. So these are all the parameters. These are all what we call the things what they are made. Means it is a policy. It is a policy of 64 pages. But how we want it, we can implement it. So all these stages, we are making what we call interdisciplinary, we are making creative, we are making what we call stand on its own, all are what we call philosophy or the views of Swami Vivekananda on education. Because he wanted that at that time, when he went before independence, we can think of what was the level of education in Indians. So he wanted to give good education. He wanted to see that India should have what we call good education system. So after British, 75 years is over, now we are moving towards at least a best education system what we can provide. I am not teaching, the primary education is also revised and secondary education is also revised. There are, instead of what we call 4 plus 3 plus 3, there are different pattern. So 5 years in this thing, and also pre-education, that what we call nursery and other things is also included in this. Since a child can go to school at the age of 3 plus. This is what the main philosophy of national education policy. Mainly, we must make creative. You must make what we call somewhat a student who comes out, he must be capable of thinking on his own. Suppose who is not well and who is not capable to do it, he can drop out and take a job. So when we surveyed, dropout in our system is very less, only 5%. So when we started implementing this, first level is instead of 4 papers of language, we wanted to make only 3 years instead of 1 year. All language teachers came to Education Minister. No, if you make it like this, we are going to lose the job. No, it is not like that. Then Education Minister compromised to have 2 years language courses. Then naturally other part is getting diluted. Okay. Then all our teachers also, they are not worried about the policy, they are worried about their job. Sir, workload. If you remove only 2 electives, I will lose the job. So if you make 1 elective, I will lose the job. They are not concerned about what we call total system. These are all things when I implement a new things happens like this. Because when the semester scheme was introduced in 1984 or so, 77 or so, there was a big strike in University of Mysore. 3 months, all colleges were closed. Don't want a semester scheme. But today we love the semester scheme because we can read and forget and go to the next semester. Okay. Then another good scheme has come now, CBCS, that is C1, C2, C3. C1 padho, then bhul jao. C2 padho, bhul jao. Then go to C3, they write something and come out of it. Means we are making good system where education is not totally in a whole level. We are making tablets, and these tablets are what we call taken by the students and chew and leave it. So consolidatedly when you take up, that is education. Somewhere even now I love that is annual education system was best. It was my personal opinion. Annual education, teacher used to teach how much depth I wanted. Suppose I take up a physics course like black body radiation, I have to teach for 10 hours about black body radiation. Students should understand. Here it is not like so. In the semester, 16 weeks complete, and then 17th week is the examination. Hurriedly I will tell about something about black body radiation, he learns something and then leave it. So this is what nowadays, it is not totally teacher-centric, it is learner-centric also. So this national education policy is learner-centric policy. You have got lot of independence. Whatever you want, you can take. Suppose you want to take a course in law, you can take it. Suppose you want to take a course in a medical system, you can take it. Suppose CBZ and other courses, some physiotherapy courses you want to take, you can take it. Like that, a student can be made a total total personality or total education is possible through this. Means everyone, everything you cannot study. Whichever the part you are interested, that is possible to have. So I am very proud to say that in entire India, Karnataka was the first state to implement this national education policy. So when I was Vice Chancellor, 2020, even that this thing was there, COVID. So we had lot of meetings online and then we implemented it. Okay. So like that in 21, when the all Vice Chancellors was invited in Varanasi, where Prime Minister was inaugurated that function and Governor was there. And only one university completely implemented is Mysore, means Karnataka. So then many people started learning now, doing it. Now currently the new government has got the opinion that no national education policy, state education policy. I don't know, because the peoples understands, they communicate to the system in a different way. Sir, ಮೊದಲು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಹುಡುಗರೆಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗೆ ದಡ್ಡರಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್. ಸೊ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಮೇಲೋಟೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್. No, that is not the thing. They communicate like that to our politicians. They must have some understanding. They must know what we call, even state education policy also made. It is a total base of only national education policy. Really, this is good system where our country needs this type of education system, where all other countries should see how good education system we have in India. So that is the policy that has been created. But when the number is large, everyone thinks about their security, job and other things. But there is one sentence, nobody reads that in the policy. Currently, for education, India is spending 1.5% of the GDP. He says that gradually you had to make it 6%. ಆ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. No politician, no chief minister, no governor is looking into that. If you make 6% means the budget should be almost 5 times what we are spending now. Then our education system is possible. Because education system, whether it is government or private, it is not what we call the system of business. It is only a service sector. We have to give money. With that service, we are going to produce so much of engineers, so much of doctors, so many what we call scientists. So in all ways, we have to develop. For that, one small crunch is there, finance. Finance, even both, I think I accept both the private universities and also state. State university, we depend upon only the government funding. We cannot increase because exorbitantly take the fees. And also we have to see social justice. And the social alarms we have to work. In the private universities, we have got some liberty, but still it may not be possible to implement completely unless what we call you get good finance. So for that, government should think of, when you are implementing to the new policy, not only in university, starting from primary school up to what we call universities, we need good teachers. Next era should be era of teachers, recruitment of teachers. Whenever I was called for any what we call meetings of vice chancellors and even with the bureaucrats and also minister, I used to tell, if you do it like this as it is just renaming the same thing and putting in different form. If you want to really make it, suppose 10 teachers are there in a college, if you implement this policy, you need 14 teachers. Because you have to include so much of electives, so much of soft course, so much of this thing, students should be able to get it. So this is one thing. And I used to say, every year recruit minimum 10,000 teachers, not only university, starting from primary to university. Every year, for 5 years, if you do it, our state will get a very good, what we call, system of education. Wherever we go, there is shortage of teachers, even in primary school, high school, degree, everything. In just one example, 660 teachers we need in my university. Today we have only 230. 400 teachers. With this, can we really implement NEP? No. So this is the practical things. Anyway, national education policy have clearly taken up the views of Swami Vivekananda's philosophy of education and how he thought how our country should be. And this country, because of the large population. One more thing I forgot. Our country now, what Vivekananda used to tell, we must develop the youth, we must develop the youth. Today, out of 140 crores, there are 40% of the youth is present in our country. That is why all other countries are looking to us. So much of youth is there only in India. So for that, it is the right time to give a good education and right policies to have what we call their own entrepreneurs and other things. Because everyone cannot get a government job now. We must be able to face the things and we must be able to what we call create the new things and give something to the society. So with this, I would like to conclude my talk. Thank you very much.
So on behalf of Vivekananda Janoththana Trust and the Amma Institution, we'd like to honor you with a sapling. Thank you, sir.